Oh dear. Okay, right. Hello, everybody. Hello, Huss. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. So this is my absolute classic Football Manager save from, you will notice, 2013. But I haven't had a Football Manager save that I've played for as long as. Oh no! What a stinker! Oh my gosh. Well, hopefully it works, although it doesn't. Oh no, could not be loaded. Right, this is a bit of a concern. We might have to go back. Look, this is how seriously I've taken this game. I've gone back. Oh right, so I'm gonna have to redo an end of a season or something here, but that's a shame. Never mind. I thought I'd just changed it now. Huss. Hopefully it comes up for you now that it's not solitaire. It is Football Manager, but it's taken a long time to respond. It might end up being thingy. It might end up being solitaire again if we can't get Football Manager to work. Mikey Evans, yo. Yeah. So these live streams, I've not been able to do them as frequently, so would have hoped, but they, it is what it is at the minute. Some days I can, other days I can't. I think I should be okay, maybe even for longer than an hour this evening. So if people that are that interested, they can hop on, hop off. If it ever does start to work, hopefully it does, and we can play a little bit of a game. I think what it is my computer is so old that in fact it's not even that old, but the game is so old, the save is so big that it can't deal with it. I watched Forrest Gump a few days ago. Good movie, lovely. Thank you, Huss. Thank you for watching that. I still haven't watched the film that you suggested. I have got it written down in my notebook. Just 1 second. What's it called? A Silent Voice. I haven't had a chance to get around to that yet, but I will at some point. Thing is, at the moment, because I've got work, unfortunately, there's lots of people who are locked down at the minute, and that's all very, very good. And last time, of course, the schools were closed as well, and it was a very interesting time, a very interesting couple of months for me to be able to just sit and I didn't play Football Manager at all. I played FIFA, and I took Macclesfield Town, who were the lowest ranked team on the game. I took them from being the worst to, I don't know if I won the Champions League, but certainly qualified for the Champions League. It's very, very difficult to qualify for. It's very difficult to win the Premier League on the new FIFA. When I say the new FIFA 20. Yeah, I didn't know Tom Hanks was a Villa fan. Yeah, I did. Great bit of information there, Huss. So, this is my legendary Football Manager save. If you've been, I see. It's a picture of solitaire. That's why people are not clicking on it. It's a picture of solitaire. I don't want that. Hang on. Tom, by your experience, is football bigger than rugby in Wales? Great question, Huss. One which I'll answer once I've organised this thumbnail. So, I did think that when I first went down there, I thought that it was going to be rugby everywhere, but it wasn't really. It was the further west that you go in terms of, so you've got places like Llanelli, they're quite. Whoa, Mike Evans is watching me in Sainsbury's. So he's just coming out of Sainsbury's. Amazing. Sainsbury's has just become my choice of shop as well, which is interesting. I think it's quite good actually. It's much more economically friendly, much more environmentally cautious. So that's quite pleasing. So rugby bigger than so. Further west you go in terms of Llanelli and then those kind of places, farmers kind of towns, they are very much rugby first. However, Cardiff and Swansea are very big football cities, but then you've got obviously Cardiff hosts the rugby internationals, so when the rugby internationals come into town, they are huge events, and therefore, you know, Cardiff becomes a big rugby town. But I think more and more it's becoming a football country because of not just the success of the national team at the Euros in 2016, but then also having both Cardiff and Swansea both playing in the Premier League. That happened, what year was it when they were both in there? I think it was about 2014, I want to say. I think Cardiff got promoted the year Wolves got relegated to League One, which would have been 2013. So I think 13-14, I think they were both in the Premier League for that one season. And then Cardiff, of course, have been back. Swansea stayed up there for about 6 years, I want to say it was. So, yeah, the balance is changing a little bit in terms of football and rugby, but they love both. They love both football and rugby. I think younger people prefer football over rugby over there. Wales playing the USA, aren't they? Yeah. Again, I don't really know. I haven't been following the football, the international football, or the anything. I know that there's lots of football and lots of rugby over the next couple of weeks. I think so, almost every day there's something, male or female sport going on all the time. So this is what you've all come for. This is the Football Manager 2013 Ultimate Save. This has been my labour of love since the 11th of March 2013. I've played it on and off. I go through spells when I'll come back and I'll play it every day, or I might leave it. But it's not. I remember seeing in about 2015-16. I remember seeing that there was a world record for the longest ever Football Manager save, and I was thinking, I could really do that with this save here. I could really try and push for that and focus on it. But I had Football Manager 2015-17, and I played them fairly often. Often enough to have won the Premier League in both games, which for a Wolves team at that point, 2015-2017, was quite a big deal. Now I'm in an RE whether to buy Football Manager 2021 because Wolves are so good on it anyway. There's very little to do. When you used to take over Wolves and we were 15th in the Championship and have a terrible squad, it'd be so enjoyable to build up that team from nothing and get them going. But now I don't know whether or not I'd enjoy Football Manager as much as I used to. So a couple of people in the chat. It's the same two people in the chats as always, but I really appreciate it. I do appreciate it. If there's currently a few people watching, get involved in the chat as well. We've got quite a nice little community here where people chat in the stream to each other, and we've learnt a little bit about each other and ourselves. So Mike is listening on his aux lead on the way back from Sainsbury's. Taste the difference cookies at Sainsbury's are the best. Change my mind. Personally, I've never been into Football Manager, says Huss prefers strategy battle games like Rome, Total War. There's a podcast I listen to called Bud Pod, which has a comedian called Pierre Novelli who talks about not World of Warcraft, Age of Empires. Age of Empires he talks about, and he makes it sound really interesting, but I haven't got the patience for those kind of games. So I thought this is the start of the 2059-2060 season. So just to give you a little bit of context, this is the pre-season of it, and perhaps throughout the next couple of weeks before the new game comes out, perhaps I'll just go through this save and this season, and we can enjoy some dystopian future together, where there's lots of teams in the Premier League who you think, how on earth did they get there? But I think today's episode we'll try and get to the start of the season, and we'll see. I think I've set it up so it just the assistant takes charge of pre-season friendlies, because I ain't got time for that, have I? Billy Reynolds, hello. Anybody else there as well? Let us know in the chat, and like the stream as well. Send it up the hit parade. I know that Dave Azzopardi will have a more up-to-date version of Football Manager, indeed. But you won't have had the success that I've had with Wolves on this save. So, got some news for everybody as well. We're getting a new cat on Thursday, which is very, very exciting. So the Thursday. Oh, excuse me. The cat at the moment. Yeah, we'll just hear him. It's going to take a lot of time to sort of get them to like each other. So that's a little bit of a worry. But we're going to lock one of them in this room. So you could end up seeing live streams with me with a cat just wandering around here for the next couple of days. But we're just waiting for this to load. It's very, very slow. It's also not responding, which you can't see. If True Geordie ever does a kick-off with Wolves in, one of the Talking Wolves guys should go on it, probably Finners. I don't think he ever will do a live stream with Wolves in. I don't think we're ever going to, because they only ever tend to be enormous games in the Premier League, and we don't tend to be that level of fixture, do we? We sort of, we like to think our games are quite big, but in reality they're not. So unless we have a game where we're challenging for top four and there's about 5 or 6 games left and there's somebody else that we're playing against who's also in that same position, that would be a position when we would be on things like that on True Geordie. But I think for the minute, I think we'd miss out on stuff like that. But yeah, I think you're probably right. I think somebody like Dave, he's been asked to do things before for like I think 8-8bet. Last game of the season is Wolves versus United, top 4 on the cards. You never know, Shiv. You're absolutely right, and hopefully by then we'll be back in the stands. Is that at home or away? It'll probably be a week where there's no big games, but there's a Liverpool versus Wolves. Yeah, that could be right. Yeah, Shiv, Huss, you're absolutely correct. There are possibilities. I don't know if I wouldn't like that, to be honest. I'd be too intimidated to go on to somewhere like that. And also, I don't think I'm very entertaining watching the game. You know, when home game, that'd be Man United at home. Imagine that, them just teasing us, letting us come back into the game. Obviously, the news today, huge news, worldwide news, that they have developed a vaccine. True Geordie's done Man United versus Leicester games beforehand, but yeah, but that's because he liked that blue van man, didn't he? And he wanted to get him on. So I don't know whether, I don't know, you might be right. So yeah, the vaccine is now maybe available by the end of the year, or certainly by the end of next year. And if it meant going to, well, the thing is, I've been talking to lots of people and saying, well, would you take a vaccine now? Because it's not just, oh, great, we'll be, we won't be able to catch COVID. It'll also be, you don't know what the long-term effects of it are. You don't know if it's going to cause kidney failure or heart palpitations, or you don't know what the consequences are of having this drug that they haven't proven the long-term effects of it. But we're not here to talk about COVID, for goodness sake. Thank you, Harry. Thank you, Harry. I saw that Bayliss has raised a little bit of money already from the 77 Club. I have put it on the podcast as well. Me and Billy are donating £1 per listen through this month, which kind of gives you a little view into how much money how many listens we're actually getting per month. But either way, so we're not here to talk about COVID. We're not here to talk about moustaches. We're here to talk about the Wolves team from 2059. Okay, so please stop commenting about other things and just focus on the boys on your screen here. This is what we've come for. So Luis Mariano, who's the goalkeeper that we've signed from Barcelona, he's only 23, but he's been at Wolves for a long time. Correct, Shiv. The only Corona I want to talk about is Porto's. Lovely stuff. We signed him as a very young kid, £7 million, but then I pinned my hopes on him and said, right, you're my number one. Ever since, I think he's only 6 games. I don't know why he didn't. I think he was injured perhaps or something that season. I don't even have a number 2. He's that good and he's that consistent that he doesn't need dropping. 20 clean sheets on average, 22, 13 that season, 22. Excellent goalkeeper. So he's my number one keeper. 2 centre backs. You'll notice as well, a very, very young team. In terms of the starting 11, there's only Domingo, who is over 30, but we'll come to in a minute. Fred Makesi, or I think Makiese, I don't know how to pronounce it, is the number 2 goalkeeper, but I think his contract's running out now, so he's off. I just needed another goalkeeper just in case, but Luis Mariano plays in every game. Pedro Santos, 23 years old, Portuguese of course, signed from Man United for 20 million. He's a young lad. He's coming through. He's going to be okay. We've got such a good team now that like a 3.5-star rated player is amazing. It's like a world-class player. But the level of play that we've got here at the club is ridiculous. Now we're in a little bit of a transition phase as well because we've had lots of success, but now we're trying to look for a new team. And I've always wanted on this game to have a team full of academy graduates and only academy graduates, so that's why I've got this column on here now with the last club. So these ones with dashes are obviously homegrown players. So Graham Hudson has now played 100 times for Wolves, which I can't believe because I've very rarely used him, but he's also played 3 times for England. Ryan Bacon as well, sizzling down the left hand wing. Fred McKessie, he was a free transfer, that's why he doesn't have one. Aaron Barrowman, who I think he's a right wing back, is he? Yeah, right wing back, right attacking midfield. He's okay. This is my favourite one, Catal O'Keefe. What's he doing? Oh my goodness. Catal O'Keefe is one of my favourite players to come through the academy. Look at that, 59 appearances, 50 goals for Ireland. He's only really coming into his own now, but look at those stats. Composure 19. Oops. Oh, come on. I don't know how to use this game anymore. Composure 19. Finishing is really good as well. Where's his finishing? I can't see. I need to get my readers on. Finishing 15. He's so quick. Acceleration 19. Pace 18. Unbelievable. He's a homegrown player. Do I prefer FM over FIFA career mode? I do prefer FM if you can get into it, but I do find that the games nowadays are so convoluted. There's so many buttons and so many things on it that I don't really like it at all. I think it's too complicated. Now Dave, as a party, was telling me get on Football Manager Touch, which I might do because I think, from what I understand, you can play the game on your laptop and on the Xbox with the new game, which is something that I might be interested in. So I just wanted to show you a couple of other players before I move on. So Domingo, he's the absolute absolute best player I think I've ever had on Football Manager. So you'll see here, finishing 20, first touch 18, other ones, anticipation 20, composure 20, off the ball movement 20. As a party, he's the FM head. Yes. He's I think he does, if I'm right in saying, I don't know if he's watching, he probably not, but he does all the Wolves stats for Football Manager. So that's why lots of people tweet him saying, why hasn't Raul Jimenez got a higher rating for finishing? But I tell you what, this player here, Domingo, if anybody's ever seen a better Football Manager striker, then let me know, because that is insane. Just have a look at his history as well. He's been with the club for a long time. £45 million of signing for, 418 league goals. Hadn't really torn the. I don't know if he gets paid for FM, but he does a little bit of work for them. Yeah, he does. So Domingo, what an absolute. What really annoys me is you can't see like how many goals he scored specifically for Wolves. I don't think. But all-time appearances in his whole career, 744. All-time league goals. I wonder if there's a column I can add with all-time goals. Stats. No, it's only all-time career goals. There we go. Can I move that column there, please? 577. What a player! What a player! So the next thing I want to show you is the Wolves history and a couple of other things from the vault. So we've won 22 Champions Leagues. You can see that from 2024 to 2058 we've won it almost every time. So 3 years in a row, then a year off, then 3, 4, 5, 6 years in a row, then a year off, then 1, 2, 3 years in a row, then 1, then a year off, then 1, 2, then a year off, then 1, then 5 years without winning it. So you can tell I don't cheat. You know, I take it seriously. 2 Europa Leagues. I don't know if it's easy to find out when I won them, but I definitely remember winning it. So the 2019. So close to real life. We qualified in 2019. So I remember winning it, and that was a really, really exciting run to the final. I was in university then. That's how long ago it was. We were getting knocked out in the quarter-final. We scored a late equaliser in that tie, which meant that we won on away goals. It was very, very dramatic. And then we were qualifying for the tournament every time, but not quite getting deep enough into it until 2023. We won it again with a really strong team, finished 4th, and that's when we haven't been in the competition since then. So that's why we haven't won it. That's the Europa League. Club World. In fact, let's have a look at the previous winners just to see this. So for some reason, so the game starts here. So Chelsea were the last real winners. Then Arsenal won it a couple of times. Real Madrid, Barcelona, Dortmund, Juventus, Man City, Porto then won it 3 times in a row. I wonder if that was the Ruben Neves era of Porto, if he was actually in the game. I'm not sure if he was old enough to be in 2012. And then look at the Wolves domination here. So from 2024, look at that. Oh, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. But yeah, this little period here was a really tricky time, a bit of transition for the team. And but yeah, some very, very enjoyable finals. We've got such a composed team that they do really well in finals. Premier League 31 times. This is probably the best one. This is what we take the most seriously. If this happens in real life, people are going to go crazy. So again, 2024 was the year. It took a long time to break through. City, you can see, had a huge period of dominance here at the start of the game. But then, since we finished top then, I don't think we finished outside the top 3 at all in the whole history of the game. And we're on an amazing streak at the minute. If you look from 2041 to 2059, so what's that, 18 years, we've only not won it 3 times. We've won it 15 times out of 18 years. But we did have a bit of a stinker. Swansea finished 3rd. I don't remember that season at all. Yes, we had a bit of a stinker here, finishing. Well, Man United had a really strong team that year, but then I signed a couple of their best players, so they struggled then to. So that's that. This is the Premier League at the moment. We've got Barnet, Cardiff, Chelsea, Derby, Fulham, Huddersfield, Ipswich, Leeds, Liverpool, City, United, Middlesbrough, Norwich, Port Vale, Reading, Stoke, West Brom, Tottenham and Wolves. Show you who's in the Championship, just to let you know like who's sort of been up and down recently. Altrincham, now I'm sure, did they get into the Premier League at one point? Altrincham, I think they might have done. Yeah, they did. Sorry, there it is. They've been into the Premier League a couple of times. They've been relegated every time, but 3 seasons they've played, Altrincham, in the Premier League, which is impressive. Bolton, don't forget as well, this is a Bolton where in the game they'd have been sort of just getting relegated from the Premier League or just staying up from the Premier League. I can't quite remember. Bradford, Brighton, Bristol, Burnley, Burton, Charlton, Chesterfield, Crystal Palace, Everton down there in the Championship. I've got a feeling that they've been there for quite a while. I think they've really struggled. They came back up a little bit, but they've just been relegated. So where do we get to? Mansfield, Newcastle, Forest, Notts County, Oxford City. So not Oxford United, Oxford City. I really like this about Football Manager, is that occasionally they'll just randomise a team and they'll go from being absolutely nowhere to, I mean, where did they finish last year? 10th. So they could well now get promoted to the Premier League, Oxford City, not Oxford United. Amazing. Shrewsbury, Southampton, Southend, Sunderland, Watford, West Ham, Wickham in the Championship. Then down into League One, you'll see there Aston Villa rotting away down in League One, and I believe they've been there for quite a while. They've got a striker they call Grant Hall. They've been down, yes, they came up to the Championship, but that's 20 years. 20 years they've not been in the top flight, at least. I think it's been slightly longer, but I'm not sure. Barnsley, Blackburn, Brentford, Bristol Rovers, Cheltenham, Coventry, Crewe, Doncaster, Ebbsfleet, and Havant and Waterlooville, who you remember were beating Liverpool once. That's what they're famous for. Well, they were once beating Liverpool 2-1 at Anfield. They're now in the Football League. Lincoln, Macclesfield, Millwall, Plymouth, QPR, Rochdale, Sheffield Wednesday, Stevenage, Stockport, Swansea, who we saw not long ago finished third in the Premier League, right down the bottom of League One. Well, obviously the season has started, alphabetical order, but they're in League One. Swindon, and then Wealdstone Raider in League One. Then League Two, AFC Telford in League Two. Have they been there for long? No, this is their first season in League Two, so that's brilliant. That's exciting. Aldershot, Alfreton, Barrow. It's very much like a conference now, isn't it, really? And then Birmingham City. Again, I can't remember the last time we played Birmingham City. I think it's been many years, but they've been down League Two for a few years. Nowhere near the Premier League for a long time, so that's very pleasing. Chester. Remember Chester City? They used to be a Football League club, but then they just disappeared. Yeah, Bristol. So as I just said about Bristol being not having much support, despite being quite a big city. It's a very big rugby town as well. So I think more people tend to go to the rugby than they do to the football. Exeter, Farnborough, Halifax, Forest Green, Gateshead, Leicester. Look at that. Obviously a long time before they won the Premier League, this game came out. Luton, Newport, Northampton, Oldham, Scunthorpe, Sheffield United, Tamworth, Torquay and Wrexham. I wonder if we can go a bit further down. I wonder if there's any big Premier League teams. Bournemouth. Again, but this was before their promotion. Bromley, Crawley, Colchester, Histon, Leyton Orient. There's no big deal. Portsmouth down here in the Rotherham, Walsall, Wigan. Wigan, I suppose, would be a big one. They were a Premier League team when this game came out, but now they're in the Blue Square Bet Premier. Any other ones? Blackpool would have just been relegated from the Premier League when the game came out, so this is them down in Blue Square Bet North. Anybody else who stands out? Preston, Peterborough, Tranmere. They're quite big teams to be down there. This is now Bet Square, Bet South. So we've got Dover. A friend of mine, Robbie, will be pleased to see that even in the year 2059, Dover are still in the Bet Square, Bet South. What did I say? Bet Square, Bet, and they were in the Premier League, Bet Square Premier a couple of times, but yeah, that's what you want to see. You want to see consistency. Yeovil down there as well. MK Dons, Gillingham. So you've got the Gillingham Dover derby as well, the Kent derby, and that's it as far as the leagues go. I don't go down any further than that because otherwise it takes years for the games to load. Is there anything else I need to show you? I might show you the. I'm going to show you the little what's it called? I just want to show you the club, the overview of the club. So I want to show you the stadium. There you are, I'm 72. This is my summary. So I've been the Wolves manager since 2012, but to keep myself interested, I've managed a few international teams to win some international trophies as well. So Italy, Paraguay, Uruguay, Brazil, Cameroon, Australia, USA, Wales. I won the World Cup with Wales. I think it was in this period here, and then there's a few times where I took them over. How many times have I managed Wales now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Chile I managed last. I don't know if I can't remember if I just sort of, whenever there's a tournament, I always want to be managing a team, just to have a go. So if you look at this, so 13 personal awards, 160 team awards. Come on, you know. Career stats down the bottom here: 3,096 games played, 2,131, 477 drawn, 489 lost. It's a win percentage of 68%. That's not bad, is it? Not bad at all. 7,500 goals nearly scored for Wolves. So yes, I'm very, very pleased. I mean, it's very nerdy, very, very nerdy. I don't have any domestic player bias. You know, I was doing this before Wolves were doing it. So yes, this week is going to be Football Manager week, and yeah. So I hope you will tune in and you will enjoy some of the offerings that I have to offer. But I will hopefully, I think the beta for FM21 is out tomorrow, so I think I might just do that. I might just get that, and I'll do that. I just need to pop off for just 1 second. And I'll be back with you shortly. I'm just going to pop it on holiday. I expect everybody's going to leave just now. But I'm just going to pop it on holiday just for a moment, and you can talk amongst yourselves. Right, panic's over, everybody. I'm back. Oh, plus I like to keep people on their toes. People don't know when things are gonna kick off, or things get dropped in the background, or you know, what is he up to? Who knows? Am I able to record FIFA? I have been in the past. I don't know how. I think I had to do it from Twitch and then sort of record the screen on Twitch. It wasn't the most. It wasn't the most. What's the word? Efficient. It wasn't the most efficient way of doing things, because it was just. I have got an Elgato as well, but I lent it to somebody about 3 years ago, and it never been seen again. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, so people aren't interested, are they? Are they? I'm not that good at FIFA, to be honest. I'm not good enough to be for people to want to watch me play FIFA. Maybe people would. Football Manager, you know, I'm kind of proving here that I used to be quite good at it. But it's, as I was saying earlier, the game itself now is so many screens, so detailed. Like, it doesn't need to be that detailed. You've got so, like, the minor details for everything all the time. It's just insane, and it's unnecessary. Now, for some reason, I can see it's working because it's on that screen that you can see, but I can't open Football Manager at the minute, which is rather unfortunate. So there we go. Let's try and return from holiday. We've got 3 weeks or so before the next game. I did play a lot of Football Manager 20 mobile. Got addicted, to be honest. Won the league, Champions League, FA Cup in one season with Wolves. Well done, Mike. Once the next gen consoles come out, I guess that's an opportunity for views. But that's the thing, Huss. Like, at the minute, there's a big part of me that just thinks I don't want people to be watching me anymore. I really like doing YouTube. I really like sitting there after the game yesterday, making that video and talking about the match and my opinion on it. The fact that I don't put thumbnails up anymore. I didn't even put yesterday. It didn't even say that it was a match review. I just said that it was a. I put something about the VAR curse that the King Power continues, something like that. So I'm not interested in people watching or views and stuff anymore. I really appreciate the people who do watch, and there's a couple of really, really loyal people who do watch every video, comment on every video and stuff, and I really do appreciate that a lot. But from probably a year ago, 18 months ago, when I was sadly watching my views dwindle and decline and thinking, oh no, I need to make sure that I'm keeping up with other Wolves YouTubers, whereas actually I don't mind. They do what they want to do. This is what I want to do now. So, and if people want to watch this, they will. Since last week when I put the 2 solitaire videos up, I think I lost about 30 subscribers as well. They're just thinking I don't understand the unsubscribing thing. I don't think I've unsubscribed to anybody for years. And in fact, I need to send a message back to somebody, and I'll give him a little plug here now. There's a new Wolves YouTuber, and he sent me a message he's called Northern Wolf. He sent me a message on Twitter yesterday asking if he would, if I wouldn't mind watching his match review, and I watched a little bit of him, and it was okay. And he's asked me for a little bit of advice, and I will send him some advice. But the only thing now, compared to when I started, is that it's so difficult now to break through as a Wolves YouTuber, whereas when I did it 3 years ago, Wolves were rubbish, but they were on the way up. Like, people knew, I knew, lots of other people knew as well. Lots of people knew that Wolves were going to have a really good season, 2017-18, because of Nuno coming in. Well, it was either hit or miss, wasn't it? It was Fosun's first proper season with a big transfer budget behind them, a year's worth of planning and just making sure that we stay in the Championship. They got Nuno from Valencia, from Porto. Like, it wasn't like he'd managed one big team once for a couple of weeks and then packed it in. He was already a top manager. So lots of people thought, right, well, this is it. I also thought, this is it. So I started doing more Wolves videos and just Wolves videos and thought, right, okay. And all I used to do was read the Express and Star out. I was in Bridgend reading the Express and Star website, saying what was on the Express and Star website, and then people would watch, and then they'd ask me, and then I remember seeing people, oh, I've gone on holiday for my contract negotiations, I missed that, goodness. So there was nobody else that was doing YouTube at that time, Wolves YouTube. Dave Azzopardi would occasionally make a matchday vlog, or he would do Football Manager experiments, or he might do the odd video. But I was the only person at that time who was like consistently putting up Wolves content all the time, and I enjoyed watching the channel blow up. And then I enjoyed the following season, then when I was going to all the games, enjoyed doing that, and then I've slowly lost interest. Slowly lost interest. But yeah, I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying live streaming, and I don't care if there's nobody watching. I just want a couple of people to hang on. 2018-19 was my peak. Is that what you think, Hus? See, I think 17-18. 17-18, I was the most passionate about it up until probably about October, November 2018. I think from the start of the 2017 season to about October, once I realised that Wolves were fine in the Premier League, and it was like great, like you'd have the odd amazing day of the cup quarter-final and stuff like that, but it was there was a couple of really good videos that I'm really proud of that I did off the cuff with no preparation, no script or anything like that, and just sat down and, like, I think one of my favourite ones is the Man City draw in August 2018, when I think we all realised then, oh my god, we were amazing. Yes, my top 2 most watched videos both have Jimenez in the title. I know, shameful of me. But that's the thing, like I didn't want to become that, and I felt myself becoming that, but you can't really. At the moment, you can't be a Wolves YouTuber or blogger or anything and not mention Jimenez, because A, he scores lots of goals, B, lots of people watch. But yeah, anyway. So a couple of really nice comments here from Mike and from Huss. I'll tell you what, Billy was a lot more confident in the last episode. I remember the first couple of weeks there was a quietness about him. Well, I'm going to take a screenshot of that. I'm going to take a screenshot of that to him and send it to him, Mike, because that's very kind of you to say. I'm sure he'd be delighted. But yeah, I agree. I was thinking that as well about him, because he's not somebody who's a YouTuber at all. And I threw him in at the deep end and said, right, I want to do a sport podcast, so you all were doing it with me, and then gradually it stopped being about sport and more about silliness. In 10 years, Wolves will probably have double the fans we currently have now. Yeah, I think you're spot on there. It was the chemistry I really liked with you, Dave, and Matt on the podcast through that time when you three sat around the table and just talked. Sadly, we can't do that anymore. I didn't realise that they were all public now, because so Huss has just found a really old video called "The Last Day of the Summer," which would have been 2006. It was that 14 and a half years ago. So when I made my channel private and then I've made it public again, and I've just made all the videos public. God knows what's on there now. But yeah, there's lots of videos. There's a few videos from back then that are cringeworthy. That 1-1 against City was amazing. Don't think any other team has hit the crossbar more against us than City have. I wonder if there's an Opta stat about that. Yeah, Billy's my uni friend. So we've been friends now for over 10 years. He lived opposite me for 3 years, opposite me in the corridor, and then, well, we've been quite lucky. There's lots of us who've stayed in touch. There's lots of stories on the podcast of our uni days, and then we've sort of had. The plan was in January we reassessed the podcast, and we sort of chose every month we were going to have one of our friends on from university and tell their sort of story about university, and then it was all going to culminate in us all meeting in Carmarthen, where we went to university, and we were all going to have a little chat or something at the university in September. But obviously, because of COVID and not being able to travel or not being able to see each other or not being able to meet in big groups, we were unable to do that. So yes, I wouldn't be against FIFA abolishing draws and making football a win-lose game. Wow. Now, Huss, that is a very, very bold claim, and I totally disagree. Because the temple in Carmarthen, I didn't know there was a temple. Huss. You have to have. So Shiv's done his research on the hitting the bar stats with Manchester City against Wolves. Aguero hit the bar in that 1-1. Correct. Didn't. No, hang on. Didn't Rui make an amazing save? Did he tip it onto the bar in the first half from Sterling as well, or onto the post? Shiv, you're my crossbar correspondent, please. David Silva hit it away when we won 2-0, and Sterling in the 3-2 last year, inches off them taking almost maximum pulls. Carmarthen is super rural. That's why it's so great. I personally don't remember all of those hitting the bar. I remember they hit the bar. I think it was Aguero, wasn't it, with a free kick in the last seconds of the 1-1 draw at the beginning of that season. I think it was a really dipping shot. I won't be wrong, but yes, Rui made that save. 10 days into our first fixture. I'm not making any signings at all. If anybody's interested in what's going on the Football Manager front. How long have I been on for now? Let me have a look. Only 39 minutes. Feels like a lot longer. Oh no, 50 minutes now. Yeah, okay. Anyone else think Neves is really underperforming? I think that's a very, very. I think he's doing really well. In fact, I was watching him very closely yesterday, and I thought he's winning the ball back a lot more than he usually does. He seems to be a different player. I think he seems to be playing a bit more like Moutinho usually does, and I think he's evolving as a player. He seems a lot busier. He seems a lot more ready to tackle. Looks ready for the fight all the time. I think he's sharpening up a lot. And we saw Moutinho for the first time ever not play a part in the game yesterday, which was interesting. But I don't think that Neves has been playing badly at all. I think he's done okay. think he's playing the best. I was in the queue at Sainsbury's when I got the notification and now I'm just chilling before doing my dinner. What's that to do with Mike? Barely having any clear-cut opportunities. I think he's playing the best he can with the whole team he's playing at the moment. I think everybody's a little bit frustrated with how Wolves are playing. Nuno's who came out the other day and said about Wolves. What did he say about the form? He said it was not very good. He said Wolves, everybody's on about our form being great. Our form's not very good. I didn't think that was the right thing to say at the right time. We just beat Crystal Palace last week in what everybody sort of agreed was our best performance. It looked like we turned in a corner. First half was amazing, really, really good. And then Nuno comes out and says, yes, well, our form's not very good. I didn't think that was the right thing to do. I don't know what the question was that he was posed or the way that he actually answered it, but the sort of headline was that the form's not very good. We need to get better. Which is true, we all know that, but don't say that after you've just won a game really well. So that was a little bit frustrating. I thought that was a bit annoying. And if I was a player, I'd have been annoyed. But we're not playing well, we're not creating enough chances at all. Whether that's down to Neves and not getting the ball forward quickly enough or getting the ball out wide quick enough, we're not as creative as we could be with the players that we've got. We've got such attacking, clever, fast players, which is so boring. If you want the ball to go sideways to win a game, then Wolves are your team. If you want, I don't know, the players that we've got, we should be tearing things apart. Talking Wolves have just tweeted, about 2 hours ago now, that we're considering a January move for Lille midfielder Renato Sanchez. The first comment references the FA Cup game 2 years ago against Swansea. He was terrible. I think he got subbed off at half time, wasn't it? Or even before half time. It was just awful. Mike telling us what he's going to put in his diary tonight. Right, I understand. Mike. So sorry, I was referring to how long the stream's been on. Just don't like the whole possession 4.0 nonsense that we've had no pre-season, not brought in players who haven't played counter-attacking football for the last 3 years. I never understand side-to-side passing around the back. It's why a lot of my family hate watching football. My dad is more into American sports. Yeah, well, there's that famous Simpsons clip, isn't there, with football, where it's just the football commentator going absolutely mad, then the ball just being passed very gently from side to side, which I think is Wolves in a nutshell at the minute. I think we're so bored. Think about the players that if I could actually get this game to get to a game, for those of you who've been with the stream from the beginning and you've watched me basically simulate through what has been nothing, I can only apologise. It's been poor. It's been one of the worst live streams in the history of man. I'm also looking at the stream now on my YouTube, and I'm not there, which is weird. But I definitely am here because I can see. Oh well, I don't know what's going on here. Oh yeah, I am there. That's okay. There's a saying over there that says there's nothing more American than hating soccer. Soccer. Oh wow, Wolves Olympic Lyon is going to be on television. How exciting is that, if we ever get there? Didn't even care about FM. Huss, Mike, you are the men. You two You need to be my little like foot soldiers. You need to be like tweeting everybody, going, you need to get onto YouTube and listen to Tom Rouse again. He's amazing. He's changed his channel, but basically he's still the same. Still the same person. But yes. So if I had a decent computer, I would play some games. Billy, by the way, I've sent Billy a screenshot of the comment that I think it was Mike said regarding the podcast, saying that he was more confident. He says thank you very much. He's very pleased with that, so thank you for cheering up Billy, making Billy's day. We need to play FIFA. Challenge me, Tom. What console do you play on, Mike? I don't have. So I have an Xbox. I play Xbox. Get more people onto your Discord and build a community on there. Hus, if you set up a Discord, if you manage my Discord, because I've looked at it. Listen, I've tried. Lord knows I've tried. Mike has an Xbox, right? I haven't got Xbox Live. I think if you try and add me, I think it's called the Old Gold 1877. I think it's my or the Old Gold Black, something like that. If you search for that on there, can you play against people if you haven't got Xbox Live? I don't think you can you? Anyway, I'm sure. Maybe if lockdown comes back properly, schools close and stuff like that, maybe I'll have to get something like that just to... Looking forward to the new Assassin's Creed. Still haven't played it. So I bought Odyssey recently, which I know is not the most recent one, but I bought it with the you do need live. Mike, I will get live, not just for you, I will get live at some point, and perhaps I'll do some live streaming or something on Twitch, because I know I can do it on Twitch. I know I can are you talking amongst yourselves even in the chat there, talking about Assassin's Creed? Alright, you carry on, just ignore me, forget that I'm here. I think it is tomorrow as well, by the way, because I did see somewhere, I think it was on a billboard somewhere that said the 10th of November. It's the 10th tomorrow. Yes, FM on. Yes, certainly, Mike. We will do that. Football Manager on Xbox. I'm looking forward to. Hopefully, if there's only one cost for it, and it's just so you get FM Touch on the computer, Football Manager on the Xbox, that would be really good. But I imagine that you have to pay twice. I can't imagine them wanting to give it away for free. But yes, there's been 57 different people who've clicked onto this stream. There's only 2 people who know what the real crack is. Do you know what's... Sorry. Tom, do you know what sports team is valued at $8 billion? I'm going to guess that it's an American sports team, because it surely is only an American sports team that would be valued that much. And it'd be somebody like the LA Lakers or the New England Patriots. One of those guys. Because the Americans are always worth. Dallas Cowboys, that's the one. Why are they worth so much then? Tell me, Hus, educate me, for goodness sake. Man United are worth $3 billion. So what's that, taking into consideration the stock market price, what else would it take into? So the assets, so the stadium, the training ground, the players. Oh, there's a pussycat. Come on then, come say hello to all the people. Hello. Say hello. You're going to be my assistant manager. Oh, Frank, for goodness sake. You would show me up on the live stream now. People are going to be switching off. For God's sake. So, I can't stand American sports. Me neither, to be honest. I've had to learn to love them because of Billy, and he talks about it on the podcast a lot. Now, he doesn't know, right? But we're having another cat. He does know, and that's why he's left. But I need some help in naming it because I don't like the name that it currently has. But there it is. That's the new cat. Can you see that? It's all like golden, blacky, speckly colours. Nice. But it's a girl. So unfortunately, not as easy to name as it would have been if it was a boy, because if it was a boy, it would have just been called Ruben or Nuno. But unfortunately, it's a girl, so I need because it's the new cat. I was going to try and call it Molly, the new cat. Molly, new cat. Do you get it? But yeah, so we're not going for that anymore. I couldn't get it. I wasn't allowed to call it Molyneux because breaking news, my girlfriend's family are all Albion fans, which makes me want to call it. See, I thought Luna as well. Shiv, me and you, mate. So there's only one at the minute, but Thursday there is going to be a new cat on the scene, a new cool cat on the scene. I'm going to pick it up after school. I'm very nervous about it because we have to keep the two cats separate for Shakira the cat. But what I said to the kids in my class, obviously I told them, because they're only 11, I said I was getting a new cat. And Jeff, call her Jeff. I could call her she, yeah. She could call it Boiler Cat to keep your missus happy. Thankfully, she's not a football fan at all. Otherwise, she would be an Albion fan. Be a Boiler Cat. That'd be funny. Luna was a name that was mentioned, but it's been vetoed. I've got a name in my head. My name's Jeff. I've got a name in my head, but I don't know. Now, I think you've all been waiting to see this Wolves team play, but I can tell you now that I probably left the assistant in charge of this game, so you're not actually going to see Wolves against Olympique Lyon. Maybe we'll get the Marseille friendly on. That'd be nice for everybody, wouldn't it? That'd be a nice little treat. We'll play one game and then I'll go. Well, shall I go? Molly or Luna? To be honest, nice names. I'll tell you the name that I'm thinking of, and then you can tell me that it's terrible and not to do it. But the name that I'm going to call my cat is Scout. See, I wanted to call it Rui. I wanted a boy cat to call it. I was going to call it Rui. It was going to be called Rui Portricio. But you can't call a girl Rui, can you? Or I could call it Rue. I've just played the game and I don't even see the score. Did anybody see the score? 2-2. I can see just underneath there. I didn't even see. Oh, goodness me! What a terrible manager I am. Bella. It's really stressful, like naming things. God help me if I ever had a child, because it's a lot of pressure, isn't it? The only thing I would say is, like, I'm worried about it getting lost outside and me having to go around and shout a ridiculous name. So one of the kids that in school today said, "Oh, you should call it Jelly Bean." I was like, can you imagine me going outside and going, "Jelly Bean, Jelly Bean, where are you?" It's like, no, I'm not calling it Jelly Bean. God's sake, no. So got to come up with a good name for the cat. Scout is winning at the moment, and I quite fancied calling it Lynn after Alan Partridge's assistant, because I thought that'd be funny to walk around the house shouting, Lynn, Lynn, get in, Lynn, or 10 minutes, Lynn. What is it that Sean Locke said call your pet's name? Attack. Shout that at the park. Attack. Attack. That'd be funny. So, but I'm quite excited because I've never had before, which is quite a nice, thing. I'm quite excited for that. I've also noticed that this stream, that's miles. Oh my god, that's why. I was looking at the thing. I was trying to work out what's going on. So the one that I'm looking at on my YouTube, I think I must have paused it or something at some point. It's gone right back in time. Goodness. Who's your favourite comedian? I like lots of comedians. At the moment, I've just caught up with a podcast that I really like that I keep talking about called Bud Pod with Pierre Novelli and Phil Wang. So I really like those two. I also like Ellis James and Phil Wang. Oh my god, I'm saying Phil Wang. Ellis James and John Robbins. Let's just manages teams in. Alright, let's turn that off because we want to play one game, do we? Come on. That's what we came for. We're going to play Leon, and then we'll call it a day. Maybe shall we call it a day, or do you want me to carry on? There's 5 of you watching. You're all loving it. Oh. Tom, in your last day of summer video, who were all those guys? I don't think I am in that video. I think it's Ricky Gervais compilations as well. Yeah, so I am in that video as well. I'm wearing a really big Wales shirt and I've got a shaved head. Bear in mind I was 15. So yeah, Ricky Gervais. I spent most of the summer holidays from sort of whenever schools went back. It's June, sort of June, July, until September, listening to the old XFM radio shows, which are available on. No, that's not me with the glasses. No. A Wales shirt, not a Wolf shirt. So there's loads of XFM Ricky Gervais podcasts on Acast. I'm sure they're on different places as well. There are loads of them on YouTube. And then I'm trying to work my way through lots of different things at the minute. So I prefer listening to stuff at the minute as well, rather than watching. But if you've been listening to the podcast and stuff, you'll know that I've got an Audible subscription. So we just got an email from work that just needs to reply to. Okay. Right then, anything popping off on the chat? Russell Brand and Ricky Gervais' podcast together. I didn't listen to that one. You're talking about, so when was it Russell? Yeah, Russell Brand had Ricky Gervais on his podcast, and he fairly recently. I didn't listen to that, but that was. I will check that out. They're so good. They're like, to know Ricky Gervais and Russell Brand. When they were the first two really to get podcasts. So they went from, when everybody first had an iPod in about 2005 to then 2006, straight at them, they all came on with podcasts. It was impressive. Russell Brand, I used to listen back to them in university, but his radio's 6 music shows and his Radio 2 shows from Saturday night before he got sacked were really entertaining at the time when I was 15, 16. I don't know if he was on the radio now and I was the age I am now, I don't know whether I would enjoy it. But the stories and stuff like that he tells are really entertaining to listen to now because I know them and they remind me of when I was 15, 16 listening to them for the first time. Ricky Gervais at the Golden Globes as well, that's another very, very enjoyable thing. So I used to listen to a lot in university as well, back to all the Ricky Gervais stuff and to the Russell Brand stuff. But now thinking about it, they were only like 4 years old when I went to university. All that sort of stuff was only 4 years old. Whereas now, I don't know what I'd listen to now from like 4 years ago. Any podcasts and stuff. Everything just moves so quickly now. There's so much stuff all the time. There's podcasts everywhere. Anybody can be a creator. Anybody can create things that people can go back and listen to all the time. I mean, I've got 50 podcasts now. I've got more than that. 50 podcasts with one person, 13 somewhere else, 50 or 17 somewhere else. It's madness how much content anybody can create and put up there. Yes. Right, are we ready for a game yet? Ross County want Dale Thompson. Come on, you can have him there. Oh, I just realised they've offered well under the asking price, but he's not going to be playing. I think I did play this save recently, and I played all through the summer, and I sold like everybody. I went right down to the bare bones, and I just brought in academy players, and I thought, right, this is going to be a real tough challenge. So I'm going to try and get. I don't know many podcasts. I know Russell Howard and John Richardson do one, or did one anyway. That was another one. That was sort of the next wave. So you had the first wave of podcasts for me, like personally, was Ricky Gervais, Russell Brand. They were the first 2 podcasts. Then you had Russell Howard, John Richardson, and they also had on there Matt Ford, who is now doing the voices for Spitting Image. He does the Trump voice and he does the Boris Johnson voice. So he was just their mad drunk mate though at the time, and now he's got his own politics podcast and he's quite successfully been on telly a few times. Now Joe Rogan sometimes is very, very good. However, I find they're so long. How he manages to, I mean, it's quite obvious how he manages to do it. That's his job. His full-time job is sit in that bunker and talk for 3 hours a day, upload it, go to bed, wake up again, do it the next day. It's a dream job, absolute dream job. But some of his podcasts, I was going to say lots and lots of naughty podcast talk. Rogan has like every famous person imaginable on his podcasts. I was watching this morning I think I only watched the first 20 minutes or so, but the first 20 minutes of the election special from, would have been last Tuesday perhaps, and I was thinking Donald Trump is definitely going to go on that podcast, isn't he, at some point, like probably a couple of days after Joe Biden's inaugurated. Trump will be on there, no doubt. Right then, a game at last. Let's ask the assistant to pick a team for us. Right, I'm not happy with that. Why is he putting Daniel Brown in goal? I assume he's the reserve goalkeeper. Let's show off to the people on YouTube who've spent an hour and 15 minutes watching this game. We're going to play the best team that we possibly can play. Now I don't know. We've got Octavio Mourinho, who I can only imagine is a grandson of Jose Mourinho. Got quite a small squad. We've got lots of strikers on the bench as well. This is the best team, although they're all very tired. Paco also would be in there. He's probably the best attacking midfielder. He'd be playing instead of Hudson. We haven't got much. Well, we haven't got many options at the minute, just because of people being off injured or off on international duty. So this is the team that we're going to go with. It's the team we're going to have to go with. We've got 3 spaces on the bench, but that's fine. So you will also notice that Wolves are playing at the Rouse Arena. This is a stadium that holds over 100,000 people. So, you know, we're talking 60 years down the line, Wolverhampton will have one place where nearly a third of the residents can come together, which I think is, and you know, after their favourite son, me. This is the thing that I don't like. Once you've got all this right, then it's fine. I want to make sure that they're all taking it seriously, because, you know, there's people watching this game. There's people who've been waiting 7 years to watch me play this game live on YouTube. So here we go. I reckon. Oh no, it's not too fast. That's okay. Sometimes I set the game so fast that you cannot see what's going on. So here we are. Olympique Lyon against Wolves in a pre-season friendly in 2059. Nothing has happened for the first 20 minutes as expected, but now here's a chance. Domingo, O'Keefe. Oh, what a goal! I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Rogan had Trump on his podcast in a couple of weeks. It's just, is it just the thing now to do because you can pick a topic you're passionate about? I wonder how niche you can go with it. Well, funny you should say that, Mike. Listen to the podcast this week. We're going to record it tomorrow because of the cat arriving on Thursday, but it will be released on Thursday, and you will hear I've got some ideas, some very funny ideas. Here can Wolves. This is how Wolves should be playing football in real life. I mean, look at that. Easy. 2-0. Alvarez. So he's a really good player as well. I can't remember his first name. But this is just... No, she won't huss. She's not coming on. She doesn't even listen to them. She doesn't mind that I do them. She sound quite professional when I do it. But she's a very private person. She doesn't want to be like, so no. Here we go again. Is it going to be 3-0? Hudson, Torre, O'Keefe. Can we get another chance? Look at this relentless pressure. A little bit like Wolves in a way currently, but we leave 2 players back all the time rather than just Cody. It's a pretty good half, boys. Pretty good half, but we want more. I don't want the people watching on YouTube to be disappointed. You boys have won. You boys have won lots of big games. This is the biggest game that you'll ever have. What's your favourite meal? Well, Mike, as you've listened to the podcast regularly, you will know that I've recently become a vegetarian. So I've come to really enjoy pasta. Risotto as well recently I've discovered and thought, why haven't I been eating that all my life? It's delicious. Pizza, got a lot of time for pizza, but again very limited now because of becoming a vegetarian. But stuffed crust pizza, you can't go wrong with that. Vegetarian burgers are very, very nice as well. And as well, because of how much meat is processed now, you may as well have vegetarian burgers and they taste very similar. They taste pretty much the same. Look at that as well. It's offside. Never mind. I used to like toad in the hole. That's probably whenever I was asked what's your favourite meal, I'd always say toad in the hole or lasagna. Quite like. Vegetarian lasagna is not bad either. Domingo, he'll score from this. Told you. Told you. We are so good. Well, so the vegetarian stuff at McDonald's at the moment, they're not doing it. For some reason, they're just not doing it. So we went a couple of weeks ago and we said, what have you got? I said, we'll have some mozzarella dippers, please, and what else have you got in terms of vegetarian stuff? I said, well, we're not doing it at the minute. Which I can understand. Like, people, not many people go to McDonald's if they're not after a you know, burger, beef burger or chicken burger. Well, beef burger. Oh, look at this from Wolves, 4-0 against Marseille. Unstoppable. People say that vegans don't get enough protein now. So this is I always used to raise this with people. Like, where do you get your protein from? Just as we score a fifth. There you go, Pedro Santos. Oh, you work at McDonald's, Mike. Very nice. You have to let me know where, and then I'll come and you can give me lots of free McFlurries. So, vegans don't get enough protein. That is a myth because of this. You only need loads and loads of protein. 6-0, by the way. You only need loads and loads of protein if you are trying to become a bodybuilder or something like that. You don't need the amount of protein that you get from vegetables and fruit and other foods is plenty. It's absolutely plenty. You don't need to have lots and lots of protein. Obviously, there is more protein. What I'm worried about is the lack of iron that I'm getting in my diet at the moment. So for Hensford, I'm not going to Hensford for McDonald's. Forget that. What was I saying? The lack of iron, so you can become a little bit anemic and things like that if you don't have enough iron, and that's the only thing I'm worried about. And I think if we can take anything away from today's live stream, is that iron is important. But there you go. So I've just shown off my team. That's all I wanted to do for you today. Great performance today, lads, against Olympique Marseille. You can get protein tablets, you can get protein shakes and all that sort of stuff as well, which is fine. But you don't need that much protein. There's no need for anybody to have that much protein. And I didn't really realise that before, but you know, now I do. Now I have. So we've been on for nearly an hour and a half now, and I think I'm going to call it a day. Yeah, Hus, you're absolutely right. It does help if you want to build muscle, and like recovery and things like that. They do well. They say like vegans recover quicker than people who eat meat. So I don't know, but I have given up. I say given up. I don't drink cow's milk very often. Yes, Hus. A sign of voice. Well, as long as you get some Sainsbury's Taste the Different cookies, you will be okay. Right, so I'm going to save the game now while you're all watching, so that you know we're all here, we're all on side. But I'll be back again definitely tomorrow for another hour and a half or so. Perhaps what I'll do tonight is I'll just get to the start of the season and we'll play a few games of this actual season tomorrow, because this has been, I imagine, been quite tedious for casual viewers. I know that the real hardcore, the 3 hardcore from 4,000 subscribers, the absolute nails people, you've been enjoying it. But tune in tomorrow and you'll see some actual Football Manager, and maybe I'll do some research tonight if I can get onto the see, now people are coming on. We've got like Rouse Ultras, get flares and go to McDonald's. Tom Rouse Ultras. If I can organise it, if I can sort it out, then perhaps I'll get Football Manager 2021 ready for tomorrow, because I believe that the beta is coming out, although I could be wrong. But yeah, make sure you're back on it, like the stream as well, and yeah, thank you again, people who are watching all the time. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again tomorrow, about 5 o'clock ish. No, it'll be late. No, I'm doing the podcast with Billy tomorrow at 5:30, so it's gonna be. Maybe it won't be tomorrow, or maybe it'll be a short. Maybe it'll just be solitaire tomorrow or something from about 7. All right.